Good morning, everyone. I was thinking about something I saw on LinkedIn a few days ago. Oddly enough, it was a debate over the sort of, I don't know if it's morality or integrity or whatever, with regard to the executive assistant, whatever, personal assistant, who essentially procured and administered, I'm assuming administered, the fatal dose that killed Matthew Perry. And the debate, oddly enough, was about almost in a weird way trying to low-key exonerate the assistant because of the pressures around having to fulfill your executive's wants, even if they are illegal and potentially injurious. And as much as I did my best to stay out of the comments, of course, man, I kind of let loose a little bit of a tirade, I admit. So here's my take on it really quickly, because I don't have absolutely all of the information. But one thing I do know is that when you become an executive assistant or a personal assistant at a certain level, or with clients that are of a certain level, yes, there will be times you will be asked to do some shady shit. I'll just say it. It is what it is. Where the sort of culpability, responsibility, integrity, morality comes from, in my opinion, lies with the person who does the dirty deed, not the executive, because they pay you and they're expecting you, quote unquote, low-key expecting you to do whatever they say. I don't operate that way. I know a whole lot of others in this realm, and especially at that level, don't operate that way. I remember there was an executive that I supported, and we got into like a literal screaming match in the middle of the bullpen because he wanted me to essentially commit insurance fraud. And the funny thing is, my mom worked in insurance for over 30 years. I knew literally just from meal conversations and just overhearing her conversations and foibles and struggles and all that in her line of business or her line of work. I knew it was insurance fraud, and I knew the consequences of that insurance fraud. And I also, in all honesty, didn't really like the guy. So my thing was this: what you're not going to do is set me up to take a fall for you, because inevitably what I honestly think would have happened is he would have gotten busted because it was a stupid claim, and I would have been the fall guy. In other words, I would have been the one, well, I would never ask anyone to commit insurance fraud, blah, 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 blah. So from purely an integrity standpoint, no, I'm not doing that. But also from just a self-preservation standpoint, I'm not doing that, So, this whole conversation and this whole argument about, the poor assistant, et cetera, I'm sorry, if you're going and you're finding drugs for your charge, if you will, at someone that everybody pretty much in the world knew was a raging addict, why would you ever put yourself in that position to essentially enable that behavior and potentially lose your cash cow? I'm just gonna say it. I would never allow someone that was paying me probably pretty good amount of money, and someone that I hopefully would care about enough to sort of support at that level for as long as I would not want to enable their downfall, a very public downfall at that. So miss me as a almost 30-year plus executive assistant to multimillionaire and billionaire CEOs with the argument that, in any way, the assistant was exonerated from any sort of responsibility for doing what he or she did. And it's a he. I'm sorry, you completely lost me in that argument. Yes, I understand that people are under pressure, but my thing is this: where's your integrity? If it's the amount of money that you're making in any way, shape, or form clouds your judgment as a human being, then that's on you. Enjoy prison. Sorry. I have zero empathy for him. None. Because you basically allowed, on your watch, which is part of the sort of code for an executive assistant or a personal assistant, you allowed on your watch and enabled someone to die, I'm sorry, you lost me completely on any argument for exoneration or deference or anything like that. Hell to the damn no. That's craziness to me. So I just had to say that real quick, because what we're not going to do in these comment sections, and certainly in these articles, and it's always an article by a freaking journalist who's trying to create some sort of hubbub or whatever else to sell newspapers or sell whack ass subscriptions. Always trying to put this little bee in people's bonnet about, well, maybe it wasn't his fault. Maybe he was pressured into it. Maybe he was this. I'm sorry. What you're not going to do is, one, besmirch this role that a lot of us have spent decades building, credibility, execution, building whole businesses around trying to make people better, and especially executives better. You're not going to sit there and turn this into, oh, this set, someone said something stupid like, oh, this set the PA, EA, force or wave or whatever, or whatever, backwards 10 years or whatever. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? No, it didn't. This is one idiot that went off script, was making money, and ended up causing someone to die. So don't put that blanket all over the EA or the PA realm. It has nothing to do with us as far as I'm concerned. It's one idiot that did something shady, got caught, and now he's going to prison, as well he should. So come on now, don't do it. Like, those of y'all that want to come for me in the comments, pack a really healthy lunch, because like I said, yes, there are certain pressures by the people that we support to do some shady shit. I've done some shady shit, I won't lie. When I say shady, though, it's not been illegal. I've line jumped my bosses, no lie about that. Yep, I've had people fired, I'll admit it, because they effing sucked, or they were basically trying to come for or create some sort of mutiny for my bosses. So hell yeah, I ratted them out, and they were gone in the next day. Done that, can't tell you how many times. But my goal wasn't to be nefarious or to do anything else. My goal was always for my bosses, and always doing something that, in my opinion, saved the business, saved the culture of the business, avoided chaos and mutiny, all of those things. To me, that is what my job was as part of being the executive assistant or the chief of staff to the CEO of the company. So, if that makes me a bad person, then it makes me a bad person. But what it isn't going to do is, one, put me in an orange jumpsuit for killing my CEO. Certainly not doing a bunch of illegal stuff and then expecting, or low key leaning on people's empathy. Sorry, you get no empathy for doing illegal shit that kills people. I'm sorry, that's just how I roll. So anyway, I just had to throw that out there real quick while I get my coffee, because clearly I'm in a mood. But again, for those of you who are either EAs now or PAs and all this other stuff, please do not get pulled into this conversation about integrity. Integrity is an individual pursuit. So please make sure that whatever you do aligns with how you were raised, what you believe in, what God you celebrate, or what higher power you celebrate, etc., etc. Do the right thing as often and as vocally as you possibly can. That, to me, is what your job is. That's why you were hired as an executive assistant or as a PA, in order to make sure, again, that whoever it is that you are quote unquote in charge of gets the best of everything, the best of your efforts, the best of, your network, the best of, anything that they're asking. And that's not a servitude mindset. It's really more of what I call an execution mindset, meaning I'm going to give you the very best of everything, and you're going to pay me to do exactly that. So, that doesn't mean giving you the very best of the drugs and nefarious crap and all this stuff that apparently people are trying to normalize. No, it means within whatever's legal, moral, and it's not too crazy, I will give you the very best of, because one, I probably have the aptitude to do it, the execution level to do it, the network to do it, etc., etc. So when you're at the highest level, I'll mention this really quickly. When you're at the highest level, you're being hired for your network, or you're doing it wrong. And a lot of these executives are doing it wrong. They're hiring like hair twirlers and people that don't know their ass from a hole in the ground, and expecting the world, because people like me exist in the world that have, have networks that are sick, can execute on a dime, because guess what? I can call my network in moments and get anything that anyone wants. But yeah, I could probably get drugs if I wanted them. But that's not my thing. And I'm certainly not gonna support anyone that's doing drugs. It's not my thing. So, that's what I'm getting at is, I'm sending this out to everybody on both sides of the aisle here, meaning if you're an executive, yes, you need to vet for the type of person that you're looking for who's actually going to supply you with whatever the hell it is that you need legally, please. You need to find someone that has the network that you're looking for, that moves in a similar circle, or at least knows people that move in a similar circle as you, so that you can again get whatever it is that you need probably a lot faster, especially if you can't poach it yourself from your own network. So yeah, that's what you need to interview for, and sort of figure out if indeed the person that you're bringing on has that firepower built in. On the other side of it, personal assistants and executive assistants. You need to understand too exactly what you're getting into as much as you can in the space of an interview cycle. Meaning, when I interview my executives, it's really a psychological test more than anything else. I need to know if you're psycho. Any hint of it, I can tell by your questioning. I can tell by your body language, especially when it's my turn to ask you a question. I ask you a zinger. I want to see how you react. If you're going to be like all defensive or evasive or anything like that, it's a red flag. And I don't ignore red flags anymore. I've been on the losing end of that way too many times. So, again, I'm trying to figure out from my executive or potential executive, what do you really like? Are you a true asshole, or are you someone that I feel I could get along with? Are you someone that I might have to check my expectations a little bit and just deal with your ass? Or are you someone that I feel could be a really good pairing, meaning you can give me something, I can give you something, and have that be a synergy that helps you both grow. That to me is when I know I've chosen the right executive, not just some job, with some guy or some woman in some industry doing something. Like, that's boring to me. And a lot of y'all really need to check yourselves right now on how you're approaching these next jobs. I mean, as much as I know you need to pay your rent, you also don't need to put yourself in a position that is going to be in any way injurious to you, meaning, some asshole that knows you need a job, who's going to completely, treat you like S and whatever. You're out of the frying pan into the fire. I'd much rather be broke and trying to figure out where I'm going to get my next dollar, or, do a night shift at a freaking 7-Eleven if I have to, than to end up with someone that's going to pay me a salary just because they know the market is desperate right now, who's going to treat me any which way, shape, or form that he or she decides to, and I'm going to have to take it because guess what? I need that check. Nope. Wrong approach. And I promise you, it's something that will set you back years, as opposed to just the amount of time that you feel like you can take it. That's not how it works, kids. Especially now when the market is wonky and, there's far fewer jobs, and I'm already beating the drum about that, so you're late if you missed it. You still need to put in the effort to find the right fit. Period. End of story. Or it will do massive damage to you. I said it. Please understand it. Please imbibe it. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say right now, because I had to pull that out, and I've got a few other zingers that we'll probably post over the next couple of days. But just a quick heads up, again, the community that I was been talking about ad nauseum will be pre-launching, I should say, very, very shortly. So I'll be sending out all the things for that, so you can register your interest in joining. I'm not accepting everybody. I might actually post that video today, why I charge for my communities and why I now vet everyone that comes into them, because I've already been screwed once on that BS, and that'll never happen again. And then I've been hinting at this for a while, but we are almost ready to launch Beast. And so if you notice, BEAST, it's something that, like I said, I call it the kitchen sink. It's something I've been working on probably for the last 3 years, and finally decided, once I finally took my break from the EA realm, because y'all are the most sometimes, it gave me much more clarity over what's missing as far as I'm concerned, and a lot of the truths that are still not being told by a lot of these, influencers out there in the EA realm. y'all still ain't doing it. So I guess I got to step back in the ring for a minute and at least provide my insight over 30 years, and all the bumps and bruises that I've taken and firings and all this other stuff, so that you will really understand how to navigate successfully in those realms, and find the right person, vet the right person to support, vet the right company, the right environment, all of those things. I'm laying it all out there, no filter, no sugar. And if you're the type of person that can take real honest critique, not criticism, then this is both the community as well as a book that you'll definitely, and also a course that you would definitely want to be a part of, and have as a resource for yourself. So I'll give you more information on that soon, but I just wanted to again pop on and call the BS where the BS exists, because we're not doing that. Not on my watch. Not to people that work hard as PAs and people that work hard as executive assistants, and allowing something as silly as this and absolutely avoidable as this to in any which way, shape or form besmirch this profession. Not while I'm here, and I plan to be here a long time. And now you pissed me off. So now I'm back, and now I'm gonna tell it. So anyway, that's it. Enjoy, and I will be in contact again soon.